On the Boston Globe's podcast, Murder in Boston, the untold story of the Charles and Carol Stuart shooting, host Adrian Walker and a team of award-winning investigative reporters revealed hard truths about the case and its aftermath. Days after the podcast wrapped, this happened.
On behalf of the Boston Police Department, the Mayor's Office, and the entire city of Boston, I want to say to Mr. Swanson and Mr. Bennett, the entire Bennett family, and Boston's entire Black community, I am so sorry for what you endured.
An apology from Mayor Michelle Wu, and now the team is back with a bonus episode titled Long Overdue, detailing what's happened since the series went out. Adrian Walker is the host of the podcast, and he joins us now. Adrian, why did you do a bonus episode podcast?
There were a couple of reasons we wanted to do the bonus episode. First, the apology was really important, and we wanted to tell that part of the story. It kind of completes the story. Also, it allowed us, one of the people who was present for the apology was Alan Swanson, who had been named as the original suspect in the case. And he was at the press conference. And Alan had been this incredibly elusive figure over the years whose story had never really been told. So it gave us a chance also to talk about Alan Swanson and what's happened in his life.
On the podcast, you say that this apology is a 34-year reckoning for the city. What do you think it means for the apology to happen now and for the people in Boston?
Well, you got to remember that we've had a whole series of mayors who never wanted to talk about this case. And now Michelle Wu did, and she stood up in this very dramatic way and said this was racist and this was wrong. And I think that was very important for the city.
Do you feel that the apology is enough?
Well, she also said that, you know, it's just a first step, that this letter of apology can never right the wrongs that were done to these families and to Boston's Black community in the larger sense. So we'll see if this is enough. I mean, I don't think it's enough to bring closure to the Bennetts, although they accepted the apology and said they were grateful for it. And, you know, I think Alan Swanson's life was hugely affected, and there's more to be done there, too.
How would you describe the atmosphere of the apology when it was issued? You were there.
I was there, yes. It was really emotional, and emotional in a way City Hall press conferences normally are not. You know, it was a room full of people who'd been directly affected by the case, and it really, really meant a lot to them. You hear it, you know, you'll hear it when you hear the bonus episode. You'll hear the reaction when you hear her talking and the response in the room. It was almost like a church service.
And that room where it happened holds significance for you as well. It's a bit emotional. Why so?
It's the Eagle Room, and it's right off the mayor's office. And it's the room where, in 1991, a report was released in the wake of the Stuart case about reforms that were needed in the Boston Police Department, many of which never happened. But that was the initial response to the Stuart case, and now we're coming full circle with another mayor 34 years later.
We are now
on the
10th episode of the podcast. What have people been saying to you that have heard it?
10th and last, and people have really loved it. People have really embraced all forms of it, both the print series and the podcast. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. We're around 1.5 million downloads. People are really listening to it and coming to the story anew and really embracing it.
To add to those 1.5 million downloads, this special bonus episode of Murder in Boston is out now wherever you get your podcasts. Host Adrian Walker, thank you so much for joining us and the work that you've done on this story.
Thank you so much for having me.
For Boston Globe Today interviews delivered straight to your inbox, be sure to sign up for our newsletter at bostonglobe.com/BGT.